Need help. I'm looking for a certificate of notice. Who do I contact? And then it gives a name. Great question. This is for a trustee sale on a mortgage overage. This was posted in our private Facebook group. I'm going to answer this on this mortgage overage question. And I work a lot with state unclaimed funds. I also work a lot with tax overages and mortgage overages. Actually, tax overages tends to be my specialty, but I've worked plenty of mortgage overage cases, and I'm going to gladly answer this. Number one is, as you're working these cases, you need to find out what information, public information, is available on the court's website. On one of my counties that I'm showing right now on the screen, when I look at this, I love it. It has so many different areas you can go into. A couple key interests. I look at notice of surplus, which I've already verified the funds on this. I've also gone in and I've looked at mail undeliverable. That means that mail got sent to the client and it got sent back to the court. What the court does is they scan it and they put it back, they put it up on the website to show that they had attempted to contact the client. And again, a lot of times this money gets sheeted back to the government. The government's not going to take time to call you and try to get you paid these funds. They're not going to say, oh, let's contact Jane Smith or John Smith. Let's get them paid. No, they could care less. They've made an attempt. They've done their work. Some counties, this stays forever and you'll get paid no matter what. Other counties, it gets sheeted. Like in Texas, after 2 years, it gets sheeted back to the counties, and the counties will not give you any information on a third party at all. And a lot of times they have real attitudes when you try to collect the funds. And that's wrong because those funds belong to the individuals. They do not belong to the government. The government did a foreclosure. They've been paid. Give the money back to the people. That's what I say. Let's go and look at this a little deeper. I'm always afraid there's going to be like an IRS agent one day, like, listen, okay, we're going to audit this guy. Let's go a little deeper. So first of all, I would start off by asking my client, not only if they have the needed information, but any other information from the auction that they have, I would ask them for that up front. When you get the agreements back, say, by the way, I'm going to be pulling documents and needing information. What information do you have from the auction? And if they say I have nothing, say, okay, was there a notice of sale posted up on your door? Was there a notice of default posted up on your door? Did you receive anything in the mail? Start walking your client through a memory process and they'll say, oh yeah, you know what? I have that somewhere. Say, okay, I might need that. Can you go ahead and get that to me and just scan that or take a picture of it on your phone and send it over to me? And start collecting these documents immediately. That's step number one. Step number two is, like I said, you want to be able to go into the courts. Some of the courts are really nice. The court clerks showed us where these documents were, how to go and how to find them. Like I was saying, I like sites like this. If you have a court that doesn't have this information, that might actually be a good thing if it's local, because what you can do is you can go and this is public information. They're supposed to have it. You should be able to pull up the files, look at them, get what you need, and go ahead and no one else is working it. Like me, I work several states and it's great because I work remote. In this business, you could literally do it from pretty much wherever you want. But say you have a small county in Florida somewhere, and in this county, they're not online yet. That might be a good thing because you have to go in and physically retrieve these files and you're going to have less competition. And some of people say, I always hear, well, the market's saturated, We constantly show plenty of checks out there. We have people posting checks constantly. There's plenty of deals going around. There's $100 billion of unclaimed funds. So I don't buy that the market's saturated. However, to answer this question, to do a little bit more of a deep dive into this, what you want to do is get familiar. So I'm showing you the back office, or I showed you the portal on the online court. A couple things, like I said, that I really look at and I deep dive into. Notice the surplus, who got notified on the surplus, because it will tell you exactly who got notified. Now in Florida, after 120 days, no other lien holders can go against that claim. It goes back to the individual regardless. I have made a ton of money going through Gold Nugget here and finding old cases that are over 6 months old and paying the individuals directly, getting them paid out. I've gotten people paid during COVID. There's plenty of cases out here that are old cases that people don't even know they have. So that's the first step. Number two is, just go through the courts, start looking at information, get familiar. When I skip trace these leads, what I do is I go into, and I have my own skip tracing. I'll put a link down to my skip tracing down below. I'll go into my skip tracing software and I'll take that address and I'll go ahead and I'll put it into the skip tracing software. I can't tell you how many times it'll be 123 Main Street, and on the court docs it'll say 132. Yes, this is our government working with our money, trying to get us paid back, and it's kind of scary, but a lot of times there's little errors like that. Drive when it shouldn't have a drive, it should have an avenue, street, whatever. You see all sorts of little errors on it. Maybe there's a name that didn't make it. Maybe the person forwarded the address and they didn't quite have that forwarding, or it didn't get forwarded. There's a million different reasons why I've seen mail that hasn't been delivered. What I do is I contact the client, I let them know, and I let them know that they have funds, and I just say, hey, but with your approval, I would like to go ahead and move forward. So to go back and circle back to the question, I would first of all go directly to my client and ask my client what information they have. I would go ahead and specify exactly what I'm looking for and see if they have it. If they don't, I would jump onto the website, look at the case file, look at who got notified when, how, and see if you can find the information there. You should be able to find it right on here. All this information is supposed to be public. If you come down here and you look and you go into proof of publication, you're gonna see where the property got published. It's supposed to be published in some sort of media, newspaper, something. And most courts are really good about that, and they'll put this information 99.99% of the time when I'm looking for information. It's up on the court website. One of the reasons why you also want to tell your client that they need, one of the other reasons why you want to stay in regular communication with your client is I've had cases where I haven't been able to get information on the court website and I've needed additional information. An example of that was one time I needed a updated driver's license or a back driver's license. The gal had married, she changed her name, and I didn't realize it when we submitted the paperwork in. She had it notarized, but the notary didn't put her former driver's license in. That's a case where the court's gonna come back, because when you submit these cases to the court looks at it and they say, hey, why should we not pay David on this case? What has he done wrong where we can't pay him? So you wanna cross every T and dot every I. Start calling up the courts, find out if they have this information online. You might have to call 2 or 3 times because a lot of times court workers are miserable. They let you know they're miserable. Start getting this information. You're gonna find it. It's gonna be great. Hey, by the way, one last thing and I'm gonna jump off here. I do have a free training on Thursday night at 7 p.m. CST, and that's on June 20th in case you're seeing this later. And I'll have a replay. Just contact me and I'll get you the replay. But there's a free training this coming up Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm gonna put the link to register down below if you're interested, and I'll see y'all around. Thank you again for watching.